Because his style is not raw smashes, but a mixture of elegant offense and defense. His strength training can't be about maximal pure load, but about expressive power. He must be able to adapt, slice, counterpunch, and rip a winner when needed. That means his shoulders and arms must be finely responsive, not locked in brute force. The conditioning has to privilege fast twitch recruitment, controlled reversal, elasticity, and durability. When he overcooks a swing, the deceleration is handled by the same muscles under control. That's why the eccentric loading of these rotations is so important in his regimen. To further ground this idea, consider the role the wrist plays. In his one-handed backhand, the wrist is the last hinge before racket to ball contact. So wrist extensors and flexors must handle rapid direction change and torque. Strength in those muscles, including the brachioradialis, flexor carpi radialis, ulnaris, and extensors, must be developed under rotational stress. That way, when he pronates or supinates the racket face mid-stroke, his wrist doesn't cheat or collapse. His training would layer loads that force the wrist to fight twist and counter-twist in sync with the arm and shoulder. But the trick is never to isolate these muscles in sterile lifts. Instead, every repetition must echo the arcs and velocity of real tennis. He would train chain reactions. The torso begins to twist. The obliques, serratus anterior, scapular muscles, and posterior chain align. The shoulder finishes the arc. Elbow and forearm streak forward. Then the wrist and hand guide the racket. Repeated under variable resistance, speed, and direction, this teaches the upper body to behave as an integrated whip. The rotational work, the core emphasis, the shoulder girdle resilience training, all of it helps keep that balance in check. In glimpses of his work at the Moratoglu Academy, he's shown performing strength motions with cables and rotational leverage, reinforcing that kind of harmony. To achieve his mix of fluid artistry and explosive potency, his strength and conditioning for the lower body has to build raw force, quickness, and the man to absorb and redirect ground reaction forces without losing balance or speed. Let's dig into what that likely means, what muscles are in play, and how training for lower body explosive strength links directly to the way he plays. At the heart of the matter are the quads, hamstrings, glutes, maximus, medius, minimus, calves, gastrocnemius, soleus, hip flexors, adductors, and abductors. But it's more than just size or strength. It's about timing, coordination, eccentric control, stiffness, and reactive ability. Musetti's strokes, his serve, and his recovery steps all demand the ability to generate force quickly, change directions, resist collapse, and then launch again. Think about his serve. Before the racket even moves, there is a loading phase in his knees and hips. His legs bend, his glutes stretch, hamstrings lengthen, and calves get loaded. That's storing elastic energy. Then the upward thrust. Hips extend, knees drive, calves explode, pushing the ground away. That leg power transfers through the trunk and into the upper body and arm. If his lower body lacks explosiveness, the serve loses velocity or control. If it lacks strength and stability, injury risk skyrockets, especially in knees and ankles, especially during long matches on clay, when sliding, pushing off, and planting repeatedly matter. Research on elite players shows that lower limb flexibility and joint ability to use ground reaction forces are critical for serve power. The conditioning also places a strong emphasis on deceleration and stability. It's not enough to burst forward. Sometimes you must stop, plant, reverse, or change direction. His knees, ankles, hips, and core must withstand the torque and shear forces of an abrupt stop. So reactions are trained in reverse, explode, then break, then rebound. That gives his body a capacity not just to fly, but to control landings. Pivot, invert direction, essential when the point swings and the ball is redirected, forcing him to scramble or leap into a new stance. In clay court rallies, especially where Musetti often shines, the slide itself is part of his agility. He must modulate grip, friction, and weight shift while moving laterally or retreating. So his drills work transitions between upright running and sliding, pushing off from a slide, recovering into a split step and shifting weight instantly. That ability to slide, recover, and launch is not innate. It's developed through drills that repeatedly emulate it, teaching subtle balance, precise foot placement, weight distribution, and micro adjustments. Beyond the legs, agility is deeply tied to the nervous system. His training includes cognitive load. He may be processing a visual pattern, anticipating an opponent's serve, deciding between forehand or backhand, all while doing footwork drills. That dual tasking, foot speed plus decision making, sharpens real match agility. In a rally, it's not a fixed pattern. The opponent may disguise direction changes, use fakes, vary spin. Musetti's reactive system must adapt. The agility drills push him beyond rote patterns, so that in match chaos, he doesn't lock up. Because his style often transitions between attack and defense, he needs to be able to shift gears. Sometimes he sprints into the court, balls at chest height. Sometimes he hunches back, recovering. His training therefore includes agility in different postures: bent knees, low center of gravity, half squats, upright runs, and lateral drifts. Each posture demands